Thank you, Jordan and Nikki, for doing this. Okay, so tonight we're focusing on activating your stress toolbox. So, I want to make sure I don't hurt anything here. I work with symbols, and this is what's happening in the world today, all around us. If you could hear it, it's a crazy sound, it's a lot of activity, and what happens when we get caught up in the swirl around us? We're so focused externally and not focused internally, instead of being able to tune in to both of those channels at the same time, internal and external, because we're not taught that we get carried away with the swirl and with the chaotic sound. What happens is that when we're little, we create patterns to survive with stress. It's what we're learning from our environment and what comes through genetically. So we have those two prime influences. So we start reacting to stress in a way that we're externally dependent. So when you're little, you're learning that you got to wear a raincoat when it's raining outside, and you're waiting for feedback, like if you did something right or wrong, or when you did something wrong, you know you did because they tell you. And so we're constantly looking out here. We're dependent on the world around us. So as we grow, we keep those patterns that we've inherited through our childhood. And that starts overlaying in our adult life. So, okay, I think I'm supposed to stand over here if you can see all this. We have resources inside that we're not taught to use. Mind with attitude, what we do with our thoughts. Our inner resources, emotions, feelings, breathing, willpower, our body tells us so many things. And the world around us is what we keep looking at instead of looking inside. So we've got stress and arguments and events and things that go on that we can't control. But we're constantly reacting to those things in the world around us. So here's what happens. We have patterns that we have inherited. We keep those patterns if we don't learn other tools to use. And we sometimes create more bad habits because of that. Sometimes, if you stop and think right now, what happens inside you? Are you aware of what happens when there is a major stress? You know, it could be something with the weather, it could be a pandemic, it could be something with finances in the bank, it could be somebody not being nice to you. How are you handling that? And if you could look at those patterns, you will see what you were doing when you were a child that you're still doing now, that may not be healthy. So we don't want to just say, oh, you know, I'm going to get rid of that pattern. You have to basically look at the roots and say to yourself, I really want to have some healthy ways to cope. I want to learn some tools. I want to change some things. Neuroplasticity is a term that I really respect because it means that the brain is constantly changing. Constantly changing. So everything that I'm saying and doing and feeling is constantly having an impact on my brain. So that means that we can retrain the brain. It's up to us. But there are certain elements that are very important, and they're real basic things that we need to pay attention to. So, what are our internal resources? Okay. This is a brain pillow from when I did homeschooling. With all the brain centers. So we've got the mind. We've got the body. This one glows in the dark. I think that would be so fun. My grandchildren would, they wish that mine would. And we have all those different colors. I'll pick this up later, don't worry, Nikki. Emotional feelings. Now, here's what happens when something occurs in the world around me that is stressful, and if I don't have skills, and my pattern is to take it out on somebody else. Emotional litter. That's what happens. Emotional litter. And then this person doesn't like what happens and perhaps doesn't have healthy ways to we're spreading emotional litter around to everybody. So there's a rippling effect. And none of it's really anything that's going to help us connect, help us feel good about ourselves. It's a temporary Band-Aid or release. Colorful, but not healthy. Okay, what we're not taught is that we are a system. Mind, body, emotions, and breathing. So if this is my body and something happens, let's say I get really upset and I've got a lot of tension in my jaws and somebody else is crossing my path and I don't have skills, this is going to affect tension spreading through my body. It affects the whole system. When one part is affected, the rest are affected in some way. Same thing in a family or a unit or a classroom. Somebody really gets out of hand and does something, then it does something to everybody else. There's a reaction there because that's what we do as a habit, is reaction. So here's another symbol of a body. You see part of this is missing. That's what stress does. It eats your body. It's hungry. And so it will eat different body parts or different things that are going on depending on who you are and what your tendencies are, what your DNA is, and what your habits are. 90% of all illnesses, research has shown, are caused by stress. Stress. Another interesting thing from research is that 85% of who we are is the subconscious mind, not conscious. So there are ways to be able to go into the subconscious mind and develop ways to change those patterns that have been in the brain and develop things that are healthy so that we're growing and learn to act instead of react with stress. Now, I want to show you something. If I was going to pick up a chair, maybe I will. Missy, I'll be right back. In case I'm off camera. I'm back. Okay, I'm picking up a chair. And it takes a certain amount of tension. Can you see that in my arms? And like in my shoulders, my back, and my stomach too. So I'm going to carry this chair over here and set it down. Whew. Okay, so that was an appropriate level of tension for that task. But if I am going to have a conversation and there's a disagreement and I am having the same level of tension, do you think that I'm going to listen to you? Do you think that I'm going to allow you to be right? This is an inappropriate level of tension. So there are times where we don't know how to monitor the level of tension and how to switch to calm so that we can handle situations better for our own health and also relationships and just what's going on in the world around us. So if I was at a dentist and I do pain control, so I don't get any drugs or anything for I've had implants, and I've got a rod in my leg, and I've got a hip replacement. I am bionic. Screws in my feet. Some surgeries they've allowed me to do without any drugs. because I've relaxed myself and I want to manage that stress and I want to feel good from the endorphins I create from what I'm doing with my brain and my body. To change patterns, we have to really be very acutely aware of the mind-body connection. I'm going to say that again. To change the patterns, we have to be acutely aware of the mind-body connection. Critical. So, let's say that I have a lot of monkey chatter in my mind. Those thoughts that just repeat themselves over and over again, like, I don't know why she did that. I just, oh boy, that really ruined my day. I don't know why she did that. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I just don't understand why she would do that. Do you see what I'm doing? This is what I'm doing. I'm pounding the stress into myself because that is going nowhere. That is creating more stress for me. Tension begets more tension. So if a child has fallen down and gets hurt, and you run over and go, oh no, oh, that looks awful, oh, you're bleeding, oh, I'll go get a washcloth or something. How would you react if I did that to you? Would that help you to calm down? Would it help you to feel better? Would it help you to have any kind of decent experience? No. So the child has fallen down. See, in that situation, tension creates more tension. So I'm going to go over and say, oh, it looks like, oh, well, you know what? I think if you take a slow, deep belly button breath, let me help you, okay? We'll do it together. Let's look at it and see. I think it's going to be okay. Even if the child, especially a toddler, doesn't do the deep breath with you, that child is going to feel the calm instead of the tense, and is going to be reassured that everything's going to be okay. Okay? Okay, so when we are dealing with stress, there's a big factor here that I like to talk about in terms of knots, the knots that we build up inside our bodies. And it's from the thoughts and the feelings that we have. Because the mind, body, feelings, and breathing are always working together. Always. They're a system. And research has shown that over and over again. So, if you feel like you're tied up in knots, how do you start untangling that? How do you go into your system and start making a difference? There are a number of ways to do that. And here's what, you see all these knots? So let's say that this person has no skills, no stress management skills, no stress toolbox, just patterns from the past, and part of it is taking things out on somebody else, sometimes the ones you really love, because they're there and they're going to keep loving you. So what happens is, I mean, that's also how violence happens. People have a pressure release valve. It's built up and built up and built up, and they don't know what else to do, and it gets to them, it gets in control, and whew, causes violence. So that's how this person who had no skills except for bad habits from childhood gets rid of the knots, is to throw them out. But this person doesn't feel very good from doing it. Maybe some relief of tension in the body, but it's temporary. And it doesn't build confidence or self-caring or self-control. Oh, okay. Her name is Not Sella Sue. She was in a television show with me a long time ago. Okay, so how do we go in and start working with those knots? We want to untie those knots. When we go in with our skills, we start untying those knots so that we have more calm. And one of the things that's really important about this is that when we are tense, we restrict the healing process. Tension blocks the blood flow. It restricts proper oxygen. So going in, when we get the signal, if we pay attention to the signal, we can go in and start having slow, deep belly button breaths, because we don't want to breathe out of the chest. That's shallow, irregular breathing, and you don't get the kind of fuel that your mind and body need. The nervous system, the muscles, everything, the cells. So, please do this also. I'm going to count to 5 with the inhale, hold 1, 2, and then exhale with the going to 5. We're going to do it twice. And I want you to feel it in your belly button. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 1, 2. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. Pay attention to how you feel inside. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it, 1, 2. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice how you feel when you get proper oxygen into your body. This is why it's important. Research has shown that when you take a tense breath that is shallow and irregular, you take in 1 to 2 pints of oxygen. That's the fuel that you're operating on. When you do a slow, deep belly button breath, you take in 6 to 7 pints of oxygen. Why is that important? I don't know about you, but I like high-octane fuel. It is very easy when you don't have proper oxygen to be negative, to stay in a bad mood, to not listen to somebody else, to use a tone of voice that may be a little harsh because you are tense. You can't be really relaxed when you have short, irregular breaths. When you take slow, deep belly button breaths for high-octane fuel and get 6 to 7 pints of oxygen, it's easier to feel positive. It's easier to think positive. It's easier to think clearly. It's easier to make good decisions. It's easier to listen. It's easier to communicate with good communication skills. It's easier to have good thoughts about yourself. Okay? So there are a number of ways to start tuning in to be on the internal channel and the external channel at the same time. So I tell kids, I mean, a lot of times people are doing television and their cell phone and their computer is on. They're on several channels. So we can be on more than one channel at once. We can pay attention to what's going on inside and what's going on outside. So I'm aware that Gene just nodded his head. I can see Missy's hand messing with the camera. I'm seeing all that stuff at the same time. I'm paying attention to my breathing rate, which is really good. My hands are warm, so I know that I'm more relaxed, and I'll tell you more about that in just a jiffy. I'm aware that I had a little gurgle in my stomach from, from my dinner, because I'm being really active right now. So I'm aware of what's in here and what's out here at the same time. Why is that important? Because I don't want you to think you own me, and I'm not going to let you own me if you're into a stressful kind of place. I don't want to react. I want to act. So going back to what I said before about the external world, we become dependent on the external world. You didn't tell me I looked nice today, and that's just going to wreck my day. I thought I was wearing the right things, and you didn't say anything, and boy, do you see what I'm doing? I'm giving my power away. I'm causing stress for myself, because really, I should just feel good about myself. Feedback is nice. I like feedback from the external world, but I'm not dependent on it. Because if I am, I may be in big trouble. I live alone. My cat doesn't compliment me very much. Well, he purrs, you know, when I pet him, but I don't think that counts. So, dependence on the external world leads to things like substance abuse. Why? Because that's external, and we take it from out here to put it in here in order to change something temporarily. Now, you can get insights, you can get whatever, but it's the integration of what's needed. And there are many ways to do that. But when we become dependent on the external world, we lose ourselves. We can't be true to ourselves, and we lose ourselves to the chaos, to what other people think, to what other people want us to do. And we lose insight about who we really are. Being true to yourself is part of being able to manage stress. So things are going on, things are stressful, maybe some kids are arguing, and I'm watching that. What do? I go in and find out where's the first place that I feel the tension in my body. X marks the spot. Stomach reactor. Got that from my family. Both of my parents had bleeding ulcers, hiatal hernia, nasty stuff. In my 20s, I did biofeedback training, and I decided that I would go into the idea of epigenetics and go beyond genetics. And, you know, I don't know if I've done that with everything, but I've done it with a number of things. And I'm a stomach reactor, so I have to pay attention. When it starts to clench, when it starts to get one of those knots, if I don't pay attention, you know what happens? The knots start spreading all over my body. I don't want that, because I could get headaches, you know, a lot of things could happen, and I won't be in a very good mood. Been there, done that. So, what I do is have an awareness immediately. I've asked my stomach, tell me, because you talk to your body. It'll tell you. It's your body. It talks. You know it does. You know when you're hungry, you listen. So, stomach is tense, getting a knot. Immediately, what's my signal? Breathe through it, Janai. Breathe through it. Belly button breathing. Notice my thoughts. If my thoughts are starting to go, you know, that kind of thing that creates more knots, grab those thoughts. But it's based in the body. Research shows that with every change in your thoughts, there is a change in your emotional feelings, the sensations in your body, and in your breathing. So if you're breathing kind of like this, you're not getting good fuel. So that's a really good signal to be able to tell yourself, tune in to the belly button breathing immediately. I had a thing today where I really had to do that because my printer broke and I had to get a different printer and it wasn't coming together right. I'm technologically disadvantaged. I really lack in that. And it's still not working. And finally, I had to just let go. But I was doing deep breathing because I didn't want to get a headache and I didn't want to get a stomach ache. Because if I let that go from the stomach and the knots build up, I'll tell you what, I can count on a headache. Don't want it. Was coming here to be with you tonight. Do not want a stomach ache or a headache. So I did my deep breathing and I'm really quite pleased. I still have the printer to deal with and we're not doing a very fun dance right now, but I'll get through it. It's temporary. What do you do when you have stress? What do you say to yourself? Do you have little sayings? What's your formula? If you don't have a good formula that really helps you, I hope you get some ideas tonight. I really do. Right now, if you put your hand on your jugular vein, Your jugular vein is always warm. If your hand is cooler than your jugular vein, that means that you have a level of tension or activation. So let's say you're in a traffic jam. You can do a little stress test here. Oh, I don't think I'm stressed. Like, ooh, my hand's so cold. Ooh. Guess what? You are stressed, and the level of tension and those knots are building up. Where's it building up in your body? Go to that place, breathe through it. Mind, body, emotions, and breathing are a system. One changes, all of them change. So you can go in there, and that's a great way to start changing your patterns that you've had all your life. That can be part of your formula if you so choose. So here's a technique that I absolutely love. And it's a centering device for me. So simple. And you have to really pay attention to the feeling internally when you do this. So take your right hand and put it on your heart. You can just feel your heart beating. Our heart's pretty special. I like talking to mine. So now, what I say, and this is it's very grounding for me. We'll see how it is for you. What I say is, I am home. I am home. Oh, when I do that, I can feel this wave of comfort going through my whole body. I am home. When I say that, it feels very comforting. It feels very warm and embracing. And it helps me to feel secure. Because all that stuff going on in the world around us, guess what? We're human. It's going to keep going on. And we're in a heavy-duty time on the planet. So how can we pull back, be aware of it, but also be at home in ourselves, take care of ourselves so we can carry forward with some good, healthy things and happy things to help those around us? One of the things that I see is it's very upsetting to look at a lot of the things that we don't like that are going on in the world. I can't do anything directly about some of those things, especially far away, but boy, can I do some things right in my own life. Just keep marching, Janai, is what I say. So I want to do some things to help others where I am. And I know that helps to balance out things on the planet in a little tiny way. My dad always said, we all have 2 cents worth. Well, I'm going to spend mine. I'm going to spend my body in a way that I will be able to have a peaceful death. Oh, a doctor once said to me, how do you want to spend your body? How do you want to spend it? And if you really think about it, it is currency. What are we doing with it? That's why I get into all these healthy kinds of things. So anyway, the hand on the heart, I am home. I am home. It's a centering device. And if you don't have a way to be able to tune in to having a calm center inside yourself, there are other things that you can do, not just what I just showed you there. There's a way you can touch the sternum here. It's called the Great Channel. And you can touch that. And in fact, that's where the prayer position, a lot of people don't know that. The prayer position was developed to open the Great Channel, because whatever you're praying, whatever you're meditating, whatever you're saying or chanting or your affirmation, when you do this, you're opening the Great Channel, and it affects your cells a lot faster. So you can touch that place, and you can say, I am calming myself. I can be a witness to the things that are going around me. I can be a witness. And I can have compassion and I can have empathy and I can try to help when it's appropriate, but I don't want it to own me. I want to be in charge of myself. And I want to carry as good a vibration as possible so that I can create some positive ripples in the world. But if all those things own me and I'm only reacting instead of acting from inside here, then I'm going to lose that power. It's empowering to do that, and I like empowerment in that way. So, I want to do a little relaxation exercise with you. I'd like to do a couple, actually. So it'll be brief, but it'll give you an idea of how you can calm yourself. And the first thing I'm going to do before I do that is a little song that I wrote that I have taught children. And if you do this, it actually calms you. Calming, calming, I'm calming myself. Breathing slowly, I'm calming myself. There was a little boy that was 4 years old in a classroom, and the teacher had taught them, I taught them the song, and the teacher had done it a number of times. And one day she was really, really upset, and a 4-year-old boy stood up and started singing this song, and the other children joined in singing it. And the teacher realized, oh my gosh, they're doing for me what I usually do for them. Was that child empowered? Woo! And you know, he didn't learn that at home. We're not teaching children these things. So he was empowered, and he really helped his teacher, and the whole class had an experience of being empowered by doing that. Because we're systems, not just within ourselves, but in our families, in our groups, in our classrooms. We're systems, so we can help each other with these things. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to close your eyes, and we're going to work on releasing knots with progressive relaxation. So we're going to progress through the whole body. So if you will start, please, with just being aware of your breathing. Feel your body as it is breathing. And the first thing I would like for you to do is tense your forehead, eyes, cheeks, and jaws. Really feel that tension inside your face, because we're going to squeeze the knots out, because there's tension there even if you're not aware of it. So hold it. Now hold the tension in your face while you breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it 1, 2. Release the tension slowly as you exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Feel the difference between tense and calm. That's one of the keys of awareness that is critical for you to have more choices in how you manage stress. Tense your neck like you're squeezing the tension out, and your shoulders. Just feel that tension. We're going to squeeze some of those knots out. Breathe in the calm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And breathe out the tense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel the difference between tense and calm. Notice how your breathing changes also. Now, tighten the muscles in your arms and hands. Hold the tension. Hold it while we breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2. Breathe out the tension slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're breathing the knots out, feeling the warmth of relaxation. When your hands are cold, you are tense or activated. When they're warm, You are calm and relaxed. Now tighten your chest. And notice when you tense your chest, which happens a lot in reactions to stress in the world around us, notice how hard it is to breathe deeply. Hold the tension in your chest. You're going to squeeze the knots out. Breathe in the calm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2. Breathe out the tension in your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Feel the difference in how you breathe, what happens with your thoughts, your emotional feelings, and your body. It's a system. Now, tense your stomach and your back. You're going to squeeze the knots out. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2. Breathe out the tight knots in your stomach and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. Feel the difference in the way you breathe, how you think, emotionally feel, and the sensations in your body. Now, tighten your buttocks and your thighs. Hold the tension, squeeze the knots out. Breathe in calm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2. Breathe out the tight knots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice the difference between tense and calm. That awareness will bring you so much health because it gives you options, so many choices when you're calm. Now tighten the rest of your legs and your feet and even your toes. Feel the tension as it spreads through your body. And notice how difficult it is to breathe deeply when you are tense. Now squeeze the knots out. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. 1, 2. Breathe out the tight knots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel the difference in your body. Feel the emotional calm. Notice your thoughts are calmer. Notice how much easier it is to breathe when you are calm. Feel your body once again as it is breathing. Feel the texture of your clothes against your skin. Notice the feeling of the air against your face. Be here now, in the present moment, in your body, that inner channel inside you, while you hear my voice. You feel the air, you feel the clothes, you feel the chair beneath you. You're operating on 2 channels at once. You are in control of yourself. Keep your eyes closed while I take you through a short little imagery. Imagine that you are walking through a beautiful meadow on a perfect day, a blue sky. There are birds flying overhead, and you see a wonderful, large, old oak tree. You walk over to it. You look at it, and you can sense its strength, its beauty, how solid it is. You lean against the tree. You feel it so strongly, and you feel that strength inside you. You can feel what it's like to have roots going down into the earth and being so grounded and nurtured, just like the tree as you lean against it. And you can feel the upliftment up to the sky like its limbs. The sunshine coming in through the top of your head, going down through your body, bringing warmth and relaxation down into your feet, down into the earth where your roots are. You feel uplifted and grounded at the same time because you are calm and you feel your strength. Allow yourself to feel that solidity, that calm presence inside yourself, just like the tree. And now, feel yourself separating from the tree. And as you turn from the tree, you see a rainbow coming down into the meadow. It's so beautiful. And you see where the end of the rainbow is. You walk over to the rainbow and you realize that you're breathing in all the colors of the rainbow, and it's helping you to feel balanced, like you were missing some colors inside you. You can feel its beauty, and you can feel the calm that it brings into your calm center, where you are at home in your heart. The rainbow begins disappearing from the meadow and going into your heart, into your calm center. It feels beautiful, it feels nourishing, it feels balanced, and it feels grounded. You feel uplifted and grounded at the same time. Now, once again, become aware of the feeling of the chair beneath you. You're very solidly inside your own channel, inside yourself, and you're paying attention to the world around you. My voice, the chair, the air against your face, the clothes that are outside you but on you, their texture. Now, do a body scan. Do it yourself, starting at the top of your head and going down through your body to see if any area needs for you to breathe through it because of any extra tension gathered from the day or from your whole life. Start at the top of your head and go down through the forehead, the eyes, the jaws, the cheeks, down through your neck. If any of those areas need some extra deep breathing, do that now. Breathe in the calm, breathe out the tense. Go on down through your shoulders. Feel them. Is there any stress or tension residing there? Down through your arms and hands. Notice if your hands feel warm or if they feel cool. Breathe through anything that feels tense. Now go down through your chest and your stomach. Notice if there's any feeling that's tight, like a knot, in those areas. If so, do some deep breathing, breathing in the calm, breathing out the tight knots. Now go down through your buttocks and the top of your legs. Any of these areas that need extra attention, please just give them the calm nourishment that they need. Go down through the rest of your legs and feet. Notice if anything feels tight. Breathe through anything that is tense. Breathe in the calm. Breathe out the tight knots. Allow yourself to feel calm throughout your body while you deep breathe through your belly button. And say to yourself, I am in control of myself. I am developing a new formula for managing stress. Right now, think about one or two things that you can start doing to manage stress in a healthier manner, to help your mind, body, emotions, and how you breathe. Make a commitment to yourself to start at least one new thing that you learn tonight. Maybe where the X starts when you're tense in a situation. Maybe noticing your breathing. Catching your thoughts before they become monkey chatter. Keep your eyes closed while I create some sound that will be soothing for you. There are many sounds in our environment, and some that we react to in a harsh way. Exposing ourselves to calm sounds can be very nourishing to us. Feel what happens in your body when you hear these sounds, and allow these sounds to carry the message of you becoming healthier managing stress. Let the sound go through you and carry the message. Be aware of what's going on inside your body as you listen to my voice, practicing to be on 2 channels at once. Take a slow, deep breath in with fresh oxygen through your belly button, bringing in new energy, new ideas, new commitments. Breathe out anything that's bothering you. We're in charge. We can do that for ourselves. Feel the texture of your clothes against your skin. Feel the chair beneath you. And stretch your muscles. Feel your body as it stretches. It loves for you to stretch. That also brings in new energy. So stretch your muscles, and when you're ready, please open your eyes. So what we're all really wanting, I think, at the base, the root of who we are, is to be our best selves. And human potential is so incredible. We have so much potential that we're not even aware of. So the more of these little things that we do for ourselves, we open ourselves up with this awareness that we've been practicing tonight. We open ourselves up to more potential, to more choices, to more options that are healthy, because we can discover it then when we're not locked into those old patterns that are unhealthy. So what I'm going to do right now is maybe I'm going to go through 2 or 3 emotions, because I want you to understand where your signals are with each of the emotion. And there's a reason for that, which I'll explain after we do it. So if you will briefly close your eyes, and I want you to bring into your awareness a time when you felt afraid. It doesn't matter from what time and what era in your life. When you felt afraid, notice the first place that you feel that fear tension inside your body. First place, before it spreads to other areas. And if you don't know, just guess. Okay. Notice your thoughts, your emotional feelings, your body sensation, and your breathing when you are afraid. The mind, body, emotions, and breathing are working together as a system. Now, recall a time when you felt really stressed, and notice the first place that you feel that pressure, that tight knot inside your body. Where does it start? Notice your thoughts. Notice your emotional feeling and the body sensation and your breathing when you are stressed. Your system is all working together. Now, recall a time when you felt a happy feeling. Maybe you were celebrating or something really fun happened and you just felt happy and free. Notice the first place you feel that in your body. Notice your body sensation, your emotional feeling, your thoughts, your happy thoughts, and your breathing. And when you are ready, please open your eyes. The places that you feel the first knot of tension come in the negative emotions, those body parts have extra wear and tear. None of us are kids anymore. So that's been going on for a long time because it's patterns. You're going to be discovering more patterns if you want to become more aware. You're going to be paying attention to that internal world, that internal channel. So there's extra wear and tear there. So you may need to, if you're like being a stomach reactor, sometimes I'll just, get my X there. I'll just like rub my stomach and say, you know, you've been working hard. I noticed that you started getting tense and I was relaxing you, but I want to give you some love. We need to love ourselves. If you get hurt, you feel really tense, try to put some love into yourself. It's amazing what it does. The energy flow. Okay, I wanted to bring this up. This is the inner steering wheel. I do this with children. I do all this stuff with children as young as 3. I have for 46 years. So, this is the tension. So, if I'm operating with a lot of tension in my inner steering wheel, then I'm driving through life like that. And I'm going to take probably something out on you, or I'm not going to be as pleasant as you would like for me to be. So, okay. Here's my control button. Maybe it's here, maybe it's here, wherever is good for me. And you've got to find your own formula, what's good for you. So I need to touch that. I need to do my deep breathing. And I need to turn that inner steering wheel to where I feel better, I'm more in control. Even if the environment is really screwed up, because a lot of times it is, I don't want to be screwed up. I just don't. I can have empathy and compassion, but I don't need to be in the middle of that tension. Now, if there's an emergency, a lot of times you have to tense a lot of muscles to take care of something. You know, somebody's really hurt and you've got to help them to get up and they've broken something or whatever. So then you have to calm yourself down afterwards, because sometimes we have to be activated. Like when I carried the chair, there's certain times when you have to have a certain amount of tension. But is it appropriate? Is it an appropriate level? Because guess what? If you have a lot of inappropriate levels of tension in different activities, you are spending your energy in a place that's not going to benefit you. You're actually leaking energy. It's not a good choice. So there you go. I wanted to show you something. Like I said, I've been doing this a long time. My daughter was 7 years old when she did this, and she's 46 now. That's so funny to say that. She's 46. So this is what happens with tension inside. The knots spread if you don't take control. This is what happens when you have a calm center and you spread that. Because guess what? It doesn't just go inside you. It ripples out into the world around you and affects other people. So I've just got a couple of minutes left, and I want to, a couple things. Several things, actually. So, that's a pressure release valve that didn't get little releases with the knots, and it blew. That could be somebody being violent. That's artwork by a child, okay? Remember, the outside world will grab you and want you to just pay attention to it, and you'll get caught into that trap. Don't let yourself be trapped. Be on 2 channels at once, okay? Here, see this? All that tension inside and how it goes out in the world around. You can feel that. You can walk into a room and know when somebody's been really upset or they're fighting. Kids know it. They absorb it. And here's somebody who's calm and is putting that out into the world. We talk about wanting peace. It doesn't just come from money putting into programs or whatever. It starts here. We have a lot of power. So I want to show you something. If you get stuck in the past and you carry all those knots with you, like when I was 10, the nickname, I was very sickly and weakly, and the nickname I was given by my peers was Ugly Stick. And I believed it because I depended on the external world for who I was. So that's who I thought I was. So that's in the past. See these waterfalls? Here, I'm going to put it over here. See these waterfalls? That's the future, okay? And it's coming down like this. I'm in the present moment, and that's where the power is, in the present moment. When you have awareness there, you'll make good choices. And that's the past. As the stream goes down, that's the past. If I carry the past that's negative from what happened to me, and there were a lot of things that happened, then it's like a ghost I wear inside when I come to the present moment. And what am I doing? I'm creating my future, because as I walk into my future, I carry that. It's a trap. I learned how to forgive, and I really hope that those kids found other ways to feel better inside themselves instead of taking it out on somebody else and trying to spread their unhappy feelings. So, my choice. This is what I want to put into my future. I want to have a good, solid feeling. It's up to me to do that, to create my future and in the present right now. Because they're all happening at once anyway. I'm creating that, I'm using that. It's all happening. It's my choice. So, I'm going to go about 1 more minute, okay? It's hard to stop once I get going. There's so much. So, you know what this is? Of course you do. It's a bag of rocks. This is a grudge sack. Because when I carry a grudge, if I kept that grudge from those kids that called me ugly stick, this is renting space inside my body. I can't be fully free or happy as long as I carry that kind of tension inside me, that grudge. So, forgiveness, I don't have that. I don't have to be stuck in that anymore. It's not pleasant anyway to carry a grudge. We hurt ourselves. We think we're getting back at somebody else. We're hurting ourselves. Okay. Calm center. Do some artwork. Color your calm center, what you think it feels like inside, and then visualize it. And when you're in these situations that are stressful, picture it as you're touching your sternum or you're touching your heart or whatever it is that you need to do. I do sound healing, and I do a lot of counseling and presentations. There's so much more than what I've been able to do in this hour. I'm really grateful for being here. Superkid Power is my nonprofit organization. I would love to see this work spread to many more children. I've been doing it for 46 years and taught thousands of children, but many, many more need it. And the kids inside, the big kids, need it too. Thank you so much. I wish you well. I really want you to feel good, better than you think that you can by doing these things for yourself. So, thank you.